Hello, and welcome to episode 11 of our no name podcast that we still don't know how we don't have a name yet for some reason. Name's Ricky, and my co-host. Wow, you're gonna pull me? Wow, you're gonna pull me?
I was waiting for Manny to say his name.
It's clockwise.
It
Always
doesn't
clockwise.
just
It's always different. On
Manny.
your
You do
screen.
realize you're probably going off for what you see on your end.
Yeah.
It's
I
always
don't
been,
think it's
in all
Look.
honesty, it's always been you first in every episode we've done.
Really?
Yes.
Alright, Manny.
Isaac.
Dear Lord, I can't believe you guys try to pull me. And welcome. As you know, this episode is aired on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts every Tuesday at 10 a.m. We thank you for joining us in this nice journey we've been doing so far with all these episodes, and we're talking about the most ridiculous stuff ever that we can think of, probably. Though we don't think about it as much. But anyways, we are gonna start this episode a little different. The idea just came up to me earlier today when we recorded, and we're gonna talk about we're gonna title this little segment "Quick Hits" and all that stuff. We'll see how the name goes from then on and everything. But pretty much one of us, all three of us, if not all three of us, has like a little thing to talk about before we get into our main topic later on in the episode and everything like that. And I'll just give it out there right now. Any of you guys have something?
The one I mentioned before was about how networks were going down. I don't want to say this week, but I think last week, I want to say it was T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T. Their networks were kind of going down a little bit, and I experienced that myself. I was talking to my brother, and my phone call dropped, and then I tried to call him back. It wasn't working. I tried to call back someone else. It wasn't working. Then I realized, I was like, oh snap, I forgot the networks were dropping. So I didn't dig too much into it or why it dropped, but I just thought that was kind of weird how multiple networks started dropping for no reason. So I thought that was interesting.
I mean,
That's my week, guys.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a common thing, but there are occurrences of networks like that having like outages.
True.
And all
But
that stuff.
I was just thinking, I was like, well, it's kind of weird that all three of them dropped like that quick. So I thought that was just weird.
Well, as far as I know T-Mobile was the one that had the longest one, and they were saying something happened at like a little where like all the I don't know how I forgot the actual words for this, but where like everything's like how everything works like in a certain area, like a call data center or something like that. Something went wrong and all that stuff, and it took longer than they expected to get it fixed and all that stuff.
Right.
And from their standards and how they try to get, because they were doing they said they were trying to do their best and all that stuff, but they were able to get it fixed by the end of the day, around our time, end of the day. But I knew about it and I paid attention to it, but it wasn't a big deal for me, in all honesty. I was home most of the day. My phone was connected to the Wi-Fi, and then I have on my phone. Well, all T-Mobile phones have it. I have the Wi-Fi calling feature on, so calls and texts can come in at any time for me, as long as I'm within my Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom had the issue, and she called. She was trying to like call and text me about it and all that stuff. I was like, "Yeah, it's just an issue. Just wait till it's fixed."
Yeah, I forgot to enable that feature, so that's why it probably wasn't working. But then again, the Wi-Fi doesn't really work that much, or it doesn't work best in the room that I'm in, which is like I'm all the way in the back and the router's like all the way in the front.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely need to invest into like the Wi-Fi Nest to like to cast the strong Wi-Fi everywhere.
Oh, like the extenders.
Yeah, extenders. Just like the church has them. I like them. They're hella expensive. I'm just like, damn.
Well, you just need one. Honestly, for your house, your place, where you live, you only need one.
True. I mean, do they just sell one?
You can sell.
By
Yeah, this
itself?
one was. Yeah,
Oh, sweet. Right? Isn't it like still like $200 though, right?
don't remember
Or like one
exactly.
ninety nine,
Something like that, maybe.
probably.
Stuff. But yeah, you just need you don't need to get like the bundle thing for it.
Yeah. Either way, I know another topic I wanted to talk about other than networks failing was that um, I know that since the protests are kind of dying out a little bit, now coronavirus is like going up more now. I know there's like a spike in San Joaquin County cases, and um, recently my dad's job hasn't been compromised yet, but there's like at least 17 like construction jobs that they started up and then they shut back down.
Yeah.
So I was like, dang, yeah. So it's kind of hitting hard, and people are trying to live life like it's if it's like nothing happened. I'm like, dude, it's still out there. It's still going around.
Well, do you think it's more the fact that you think like people started rushing and trying to get everything back open?
That and I feel like
besides the protest stuff, because that
yeah,
was
no,
that
no,
stuff
yeah.
was inevitable no matter what.
Aside from that, I think with things being open again, and then also I think people rushing to hang out again, I think that caused the problem. Because yesterday, my neighbors across the street, they just had like a huge get together, like huge. It was like all the cars were out in front, everybody was in the house, in the garage. And I'm just like, yeah, I know things are opening up back up, but like you should kind of be cautious of like bigger surroundings. So like, so when I play drums at church, by the way, if anyone needs a drummer for their church, I'm your guy.
Got an invitation?
Can I just sell myself a little bit? Just a little bit. Just sell my. Anyways, that's not the point. Anyways, after playing drums, like I just left. I didn't shake anybody's hand. I wasn't like trying to talk to them, and it wasn't because I was trying to be disrespectful, but I just felt like this is a huge crowd for Father's Day service, and I just didn't want to be stuck like having people to shake my hand because it's normal. It's out of habit to shake someone's hand. So I always do the fist bump with people, but even then, there was still a lot of people at church, and I was just like, dang, this is a lot more than usual. And so I was just like, oh, and now the governor is making it like legal to like you have to wear a face mask now.
It's a mandate.
It's mandated.
But the thing is about that, it's like even though it's now mandated by the state, there's no like penalty if you don't. So it's like,
right.
There's though we are officially now telling even though wearing your mask was always supposed to be a thing no matter what, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It was always supposed to be no matter what. The fact that like people are complaining about it, and then people are complaining that the state hasn't done anything about it. It's like it's always been a thing. Like we were always supposed to wear a mask and all that stuff no matter what, and all that, and everything. Like that's required. It was required. It's not just because the state hasn't said anything doesn't mean it's like it gives you the right to like technically to like not give it. It's like you're not. It's an option. It's like no, you're supposed to wear to prevent spread of the virus. You need to wear a mask and all that stuff.
Right.
The fact that it's like we needed the fact that it took. But for the fact that our governor took this long to say something, it's kind of not his fault. At the same time, it is because it's like something needs to be happening about it. But then, like I said again, it's like people don't but also people are just ignorant too. Like they don't want to believe of the fact of like, everything seems to be going fine now and all that stuff. Like no, it's not. Like no, it's not.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
I think the governor probably thought people have like common sense. Like there's a virus.
Well, then
wear your mask.
Well, then it's like here's the thing. Federal, because like here's the thing, we got federal, you have your states, then like of course the counties and all that stuff, and then of course the states and the cities themselves and all that stuff. And then it's like it became a thing of like, federal's like we'll have the states work on that. Some states, depending on it, I think our state was one of them. It's like, we'll have the counties regulate on that and everything like that and all that stuff. And even then, it's like, I think our county, in particularly, I may have to look at it again. It's like had no mention of mask I think, but even when shelter in place became a thing and all that stuff, I've never mentioned. I could be wrong. I've never mentioned anything about mask, though it's like something that's been talked about and all that stuff. And the fact that it's like government, like I said, now it's like, oh, our governor has to jump in to remind people, like, hey, wear your mask, and making it also like you have to do this to prevent this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as you sent it to me in our little chat thing, that we had 387 new cases over just a weekend in our county, shows that.
You believe that?
Yeah.
I think that's more than Sacramento County.
Yeah. So it states San Joaquin County had or seen 387 new cases of COVID-19 over the weekend, and now has more, and it has more now than Sacramento County at 2,400 in the last 2 weeks. In the last 2 weeks, it has increased 62% with people getting sick at work.
It's been happening at work mostly too. So
well, yeah, because maybe people from that go to work haven't really been keeping quarantine and going hanging out and going out to places and crap like that.
Well, that's the thing. Is like everything started like this thing, this spike in cases. Like we just started reopening stuff just not that long, around that same time, if I'm not correct. In where we live at least, and everything.
Yeah.
The fact that
at the
gyms just started.
Gyms barely started opening up, yeah.
And all that stuff, and it's just like the fact that many cases popped up in the last week, in the weekend itself. And also, and yes, granted for the fact that it's like more testing is coming in now, and all that stuff. So more people are getting tested and everything like that too, and all that stuff. That's like, so it's like it's like we're now getting like later stuff, like people getting confirmed cases on it. Still, like that was going to be the thing no matter what. Even when testing got ramped up, there was going to be a chance of more possible chances of confirmed cases and all that stuff. It's just people just decided like, oh, when the first round went through, it's like it started slowing down. It's like, oh, we can probably start reopening now. It's like, nah, I don't think that's how it works.
No, I think China did it right by like quarantine. Like they really did a quarantine. Like they had people stay inside for like months. I don't know how many months or how many weeks, but it was just like no one went outside. Nobody. Yeah. And it was just like if you needed something, then they would bring it to you. And so it was like that. You know, that's how bad it was.
Yeah, but our country's too
stubborn.
Wasn't
like that. It wasn't like that here.
Our country's too stubborn.
Yeah, they love money more than anything else.
Like it's just more of the fact it's just like it's like no one's willing to work. Like this is the thing. As a country, as a person, as something that says united we stand. That word united does not work well in this country.
Right. I think that's the thing too. Is just like if they made us all stay home, everybody just for a whole entire month. Like,
in all honesty, it's like, granted, they've gotten more cases since then. They've gotten one of the states. I think New York's been doing their thing. I think they're starting to like reopen stuff, but it's like the way they've done it. It sounds like they were kind of strict on their stuff and everything like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, here in California, it was kind of the same. It's just, but the thing is like this is California. The thing is about what California is, people want to be outside and all that stuff, and it's just like it and everything like that. You saw what happened when the first day of like heat, everyone was at the beaches and everything like that. When we were still shelter in place at the time and everything like that. It's just like people don't realize of like what this could do and all that stuff. And this is actually a big deal.
Right.
It sucks.
I think people are kind of hoping like the summer heat will like kind of burn it off, you know, like burn off the virus.
Well, that's not a thing. The virus thrives in heat.
Yeah.
It kills off in the cold.
Is it really?
Yeah, viruses get killed in the cold. That's why there's hardly any cases up where it's colder temperatures. But in the heat, it thrives. It's like bacteria. It thrives in the heat.
I didn't know that. I thought it was like opposite.
So it's gonna be Well, like I said, it's mentioned like in our earlier episodes. Like, we'll see how this goes and all that stuff.
Right.
And now I'm kind of scared now because it's like about what cases like because not just here in California but other places in the states also are starting to see like a number of cases rising and all that stuff kicking off, and it kind of scares me for the fact that sports are starting to like starting to start back. It's
They're
sad.
trying to kill us.
Oh yeah, okay. No, those are good quick hits. Manny, you have any?
No, not really. That you guys haven't covered. It was
Nothing
mainly
much.
about that.
Nothing else?
No, but-
Nothing else? Nothing else besides that?
No. If we're talking serious stuff, no.
No, well, not anything in general. It doesn't have to be serious. It doesn't have to be political or anything like that. The point of this.
I mean,
Stuff.
nah. Maybe next week I might have some stuff though. I'll be more prepared for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's our segment of quick hits.
Thank you for enjoying the very first segment of this of this podcast for this podcast. I mean to say, I don't know. Anyways, on to the main topic
Oh, this
All right.
podcast thing.
and all that stuff. Because it's oddly enough you brought this, because Isaac brought this topic up to me yesterday and all that stuff, and I thought it'd be cool to talk about too and everything like that. But it's funny enough that you actually meant this was a good time to bring this up because earlier today, because this is recorded on a Monday and everything, Apple had its keynote video because you can't do an actual press conference no more for their developers conference. The Worldwide Developers Conference is what it's called, WWDC for short. And pretty much this is where they talk about what they plan on doing for their future software updates on their operating system, whether it be on the iPhone, the iPad, the Mac, their watch, the Apple Watch, Apple TV products and all that stuff. They always talk about their new stuff and everything like that. So it's like I kind of want to run down like a few things of what they announced on that stuff. So one of the things is let me find it because I just had the one of the big things for it, especially this is for the phone and the iPad, they're finally putting in an app library. So you know how when you have a phone, you know how on iPhone you swipe to see all the rest of your apps, and also if you have like a lot of
Like
apps,
any phone.
like
Yeah.
on iPhones in particular, man. Listen to me. Listen to this. They finally have something that's called an app library, and it is similar to Android phones because you know how you can just swipe up and it just gives you can just look through there instead of having to make multiple home screens and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's now a thing, and that's now going to be happening on the new version of for the
Okay.
iOS and the iPad. So and then how they're doing it though, it's all sorted out into like different categories too. So it's like you have like one for entertainment, fitness, to name a
Now,
few.
will it
like that.
auto sort that, or do you put that?
I meant to rewatch that segment just so that way I can get know it more. But
Yeah.
but it seems like it's gonna auto sort it for what it looks like
Oh, okay.
and all that stuff.
Because
I mean,
aren't apps like already like sorted like on the App Store, right? It's like
on the
right?
in app stores, yeah, they have their own categories and all that stuff. But normally when you download an app, no matter what, even if it's on an iOS or an Android phone, it just puts it there. Well, on iOS in particular, it just installs it and then that's it. And then the next one will
No,
just,
what I'm saying is
just-
like it'll probably be easier to understand the category for the phone wise, wouldn't it? Since the app is already under a category on the App Store, wouldn't it just be easier? I don't really know about programming.
Well, I mean, I guess. Well, yeah, most likely it's gonna be sort of like because the thing is about it. It's just the thing is about it though. How about in this one, and then another thing that they're doing because they're doing actually you can actually put now widgets on the home screen on Apple products now. What and why I'm bringing this up because like these are stuff that's already on an Android phone already. Like you can put widgets on your actual main screen and all that stuff. It's not in a dedicated section like how iPhones are nowadays and all that stuff. To name a few things and all that stuff. Let's see here. They finally they're adding picture in picture on the iPhone. I think more particularly because the iPad already had it. for a while. For messages, there's pinned conversations. So pretty much you can pin your 9 most used conversations you have with people, because you know when you open the message app on an iPhone, it's just a long list of people. You're trying to find something. You're trying to find something like the last person you text maybe from like last week, and you try to find it if you have a song. They now have you'll now have a section where it's like the 9 most people, like the 9 best conversations you're mostly into a lot. Especially that's good for like group chats and everything. And then what was the last thing that I saw on here that was actually pretty cool? I don't remember on here. Oh no. So the other thing about what they're doing, what I thought was cool, it's not with none of the app, the phone or the tablet or even the computer. It's the AirPod. So
I have the AirPods.
AirPod Pros in particular.
Ooh.
They are not.
AirPod Pro?
He has Pros. Yeah, right. You have Pros. Didn't you have Pros now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I have Pros.
Oh snap.
So this is the wrong tweet, but this is pretty much what one of the features about it though. It's like this is from Marcus Brownlee, MKBHD. If you know him from YouTube and everything like that, he does like tech reviews and everything like that. Highly recommend it. AirPods. So what he mentioned in his tweet is like AirPods will now automatically switch between devices by recognizing if you put down your phone and pick up your iPad, or you're on your iPad and you get a phone call, it'll switch back to the phone and everything. And he says that type of experience only completes that's the type of experience only a complete ecosystem can create, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty tight.
You know, stuff.
Makes me want to get an iPad.
And all that stuff. So yeah, so it's like that is like it automatically switches.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know if he asked Isaac if he had an iPhone.
Yeah.
Bro.
Do you?
Yes. Why would I have Apple AirPods if I don't have an iPhone?
I don't know.
Yeah,
last time I checked, you had like the Zions.
We literally had this discussion before recording, how he's talking about how he got the AirPods and a watch and everything like that.
Oh yeah. Okay, I remember that. Yeah.
Oh wait, do the Apple AirPod Pros, do they link up to Androids too?
They can.
Yeah, but you gotta go through Bluetooth. Like you gotta like go to it. It doesn't.
No, so how it works, because this is when I originally had AirPods. First you would have to set it up on an Apple device. So luckily I have I have an iPad and all that stuff. So I got that all set up and everything like that. Now the next thing you have to do is you have to press the button to make it all work and everything like that. And then it'll detect it on the Android phone via Bluetooth, and then it'll connect it.
That's so weird. They had to do all that.
I know, right? Where are you? Don't tell me why I lost it. Well, yeah, because you have a Galaxy phone.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. Oh, I think.
But it makes it so. But like putting in, I've learned that with the Apple AirPod Pros, like it's so it syncs up so fast.
Well, yeah,
it feels good. It's awesome when I can just take out the earbud and just put it in my ear, and it just automatically just syncs like that.
Well,
like,
that's the cool thing about it, about like having being in what's called an ecosystem. How MK brought it up in that tweet. It's like because it just works all together because it's all from the same thing,
right?
And everything like that. And now I didn't save it, but pretty much. The new feature, there's a new feature on the Pros. I think it's coming soon when the new software comes out. It's called Spectacle Audio. So you know how like you're in a movie theater, like man, you should know this. Like when we go to like a Dolby Cinema movie scene like that.
Dolby Digital.
It's the Dolby Cinema, man. Cinema. And you know how like the speakers are around you and all that stuff and everything like that. It's like you're hearing it from all directions.
Immersive audio.
Yeah, and all that stuff. Like so, that's coming into the AirPods Pros, particularly.
Dope.
Now, you would think it's like, but they only go in one direction, like coming into your ears, right? You don't think how that works, right? So how it works, it's all built in within software. It's like an algorithm of sorts of how like what's gonna happen is like say if you're watching something, like say this can work on either using your Apple TV or iPad. I think the iPhone also. As long as the video you're watching has like 5.1, 7.1, Dolby Atmos audio, surround sound audio, stuff like that. so once it hears it, the AirPods will automatically start like making the sound like how it's gonna surround you within the AirPod itself. But the cool thing about it is like, so you know how like when you're watching that stuff, and you turn your head, like the sound itself like adjusts like in a way like moves with it, like you're hearing it differently from one side. So if you happen to do that with your AirPods on, it does that same thing. So it's like literally like, so like you're hearing it something that was close to your ear, you turn, it goes farther. That's the same thing that's gonna happen to the air when you do it on your AirPods, which I thought was like the coolest thing ever, and all that stuff. I mean, if I had clipped, I'll after the episode, I'll show you the video and all that stuff and everything where he talks about it and all that stuff. But that was cool. I thought that was cool about it. But yeah. But anyways, getting to the point of what this topic is the evolution of the phone and everything, the phone and all that stuff.
The phone.
And all that stuff. Isaac can't shows his because he's using it for this call for this right now.
That's
stuff.
the evolution
And everything. But we.
I was like, why is it turning on?
Particularly for me and Isaac, I think we've been around since the beginning of the cell phone, at least, and everything like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think y'all had the brick and everything.
The brick. Woo. Fun story. My dad used to have one.
Really? Did he have a pager? Dude, I always wanted a pager. Not gonna lie.
No, it was more the brick flip phone one.
Oh, okay.
That one. It was that one. But like, and I had a toy one of that though. The actual brick with the long antenna. Yeah. I had a toy one of that, and all that stuff and everything. He had a pager too and all that stuff. Everything.
I always wanted a pager. I thought they were cool.
I was like, so how I want to go with this first is, Manny, this might be a little harder for you since you're more younger out of us.
Okay.
But I want to know your first experience with a cell phone and all that stuff.
A cell phone, not a house phone, right?
No, we're gonna. I think we want to do this more with the cell phones in particular because those are the ones that have evolved the most between in years time. How's with the home phone? It's just the one thing simple about it is just like there was the rotator, you can dial, and then now they have like implemented voicemail into it and all that stuff now. And all that stuff. That's pretty much it.
BlackBerry. The first BlackBerry was my first phone.
Shut up.
Yeah, it was.
Seriously?
Yeah.
BlackBerry?
Yeah, my cousin came over. He's like, "You want a BlackBerry?" I was like, "Yeah, I want a BlackBerry." Like it didn't work, and then like it didn't work like really, and then like cause like the buttons were like kind of messed up and like the screen was kind of cracked, and then like we took it like to the repair place and like, yeah, we could fix this for like $20, and like they fixed it, and then like we got it actually enabled, and that was my first phone.
Wow. And this is like these are like an actual BlackBerry with like the keyboard.
This is the legit BlackBerry with like the little keyboard on it.
Back in the day, keyboard like the actual the legit cool ones, not that touchscreen ones they try to release like a while on all that stuff that would suck.
Yeah, and I had that one first, and then my second one was the one that like it was like just the screen, and then you flipped it and like flipped it up to like get the keyboard also.
Oh, sidekicks.
Yeah, those ones were the best. I thought those still to this day. I think those were dope.
Mm-hmm. Dude, those were fun to play with.
Right?
It's like you flipped it, and like you felt hecka cool.
Yeah.
That was my first phone I bought with my own money.
Oh, the like
a sidekick.
A sidekick.
Yeah,
nice.
That's dope.
The first time I ever had a phone experience was when my mom owned a cell phone, and it was the Nokia. Nokia, like the little bricks.
Small rectangulars and like the clicky things. And always play Snake on it.
Yeah, I remember playing Snake on that phone all the time. Or like the space game.
Mm-hmm.
And I would play those all the time. But it was funny though, because that it never broke and that phone never died.
Yeah.
So like she charged it one time and it was just like it was good for a whole entire week. And that was awesome. So I think that's the only time I ever got to experience a phone. Now my second experience with a phone is when I finally got my own, and that was when I was 17 years old. So I graduated high school, and then I got a phone for the first time ever in my life.
That's dope.
And so my parents paid for it, of course, and then so I was just like, what? I finally got one. And then from there on, I paid for my own phones after that.
Yeah, I got my first phone going into freshman year of high school.
Now the smoothest phones I've ever gotten for myself was the OnePlus 6T, and then of course the iPhone 11. So any other phone besides that, I had like an LG, which was crappy. It was so crappy. And like it was like an LG J7 or something like that. It was
J5?
really crappy. I forgot what it was like Optimus or something like that. It was real crappy, man. I'm talking about like you can only have like a set number of apps because if you exceeded like the internal storage, you couldn't. That's the one thing I hated. Oh, I don't want to get too far into it. I don't want to take up too much. I don't know where Ricky's going. But I had to mention I did have a Windows phone. Like I had a Nokia like Windows phone. And I bought that before. It was like the last version they ever made before they like went out of like they just stopped making them. And so in my head, I was just like, I'm gonna go buy this from Metro. It's gonna be the best one I've ever had. And not knowingly, I should have done more research. Not knowingly, it did not play well with Google. Like they refused to have like the Google Play Store. they made all these third-party stores. Like you know what I'm saying? And I spent like, what did I say? Like it wasn't even that much.
The thing is with Windows phones in particularly, because it was their own operating system. They had their own. They had their own store, but none of the big companies, app companies such as like Facebook, Snapchat, all that stuff and everything like that. There was Vine. I think like Facebook did come in, Twitter did, Instagram during the late years of that operating system. But anything else was like that was big that you would see normally on an Android or an iOS didn't go on a Windows phone, which is like without that app support, it's like nothing else you could do about it.
Yeah, dude, you couldn't even play YouTube. There was no YouTube.
And then like of course, there was like the issue with like having Google products on there and all that stuff and everything like that and stuff like that too.
Because I think the real reason is because Bill Gates wanted to create like his own version of like a store. Like they want to have their own Microsoft store.
Well, yeah, because
I guess
it was their own operating system and all that stuff. So it's like, of course, it's like you don't want to like you're trying to and plus at the time you're trying to compete with other operating systems such as like iOS with Apple, Android from Google, and all that stuff. You're trying to make another platform. You're trying to add another platform to two that are already big ones pretty much already, and all that stuff. And a marketing game that's pretty much a duopoly at this point with Android phones, and particularly whether it be a Galaxy or anything else, and then iOS with the iPhone, Apple with the iPhone, and all that stuff, and everything. So it's like they're trying their best at what they do. Honestly, it was more of a developer standpoint of just getting apps on there than it was the operating system in itself and everything like that, and all for that stuff.
The coolest part of the Windows Phone that I've experienced was having Cortana on there. So when they had Cortana as that was their Siri, on the Microsoft one, dude, it was tight because like she sounded legit. So you'd be like, "Hey Cortana," she'd be like, "Hey," like a real person. And you're like, "What? That's tight." And then you'd be like, "Where's Master Chief?" And then they're like, "I can't," or it'd be like, "I can't tell you on the top secret mission" or something like that. And I was just like, "That's pretty cool. That was really cool." I enjoyed it.
Cortana. It's cool as Bixby though.
What was that?
Bixby.
Get out of here with that.
I say that because Ricky hates it so much.
Get out with that. I don't know how Samsung still supports that thing. I don't know how they still do it.
It's bad, pretty bad.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what that is.
Bixby's like their Samsung.
It's Samsung Siri.
Yeah, but it's horrible.
It's just no.
This is horrible. I'd rather use Hey Google than Hey Bixby.
Google Assistant is 15 times better than that.
Yeah, I use the Hey Google option, not the Bixby.
I like
Google. The bad part is there's like a Bixby, like, because I got the Note 9 now. There's like a Bixby like quick button, like that you click and it automatically takes you to the Bixby like app. It's bad. It's real.
Now I know, like, I don't know if Ricky were gonna bring it up, but I know that iPhone 12 should be coming out. I don't know, this year or next year.
So we were gonna talk about that later, towards the end.
Okay, awesome. Stuff. All
right. Let's see here. My stuff. As I mentioned earlier, I've seen the brick. I've dealt with the flip. the original flip phone and everything like that. My dad.
Wait, so you never personally owned a brick or no?
No.
Just your dad?
No.
Oh.
I was too young for a cell phone. Cell phones, when the first cell phone came out, I was too young for that. Though cell phones at the time were still a niche thing, and everything like that. Yeah. Like that, like nobody knew how much they were gonna take off, and all that stuff until the iPhone became a thing, and all that stuff. And it was like seeing my dad have that stuff. It was like, wait, what? And all that stuff. Like,
you ever played with like an old phone, like when you were a kid, like an old used phone from your dad? Like you said, you had a brick toy. Was that like your dad's old brick, or like?
Yeah, and then I had a toy one. Mostly, I used to toy one mostly. I was a kid. And he did have Nokias. He did have Nokia phones, different kinds. Like he had an old one that he stopped. Like he bought another one kept. I would use the one he stopped using just to play Snake and all that stuff. Then like you see him slowly evolving, and then like I had my first phone was a Nokia. And then I had like a little Sprint phone, flip phone at the time, and all that stuff. And then the year the iPhone came out, no, I was like, I want the iPhone, but it was too expensive. It was too expensive.
Was really expensive
for me working part time and all that stuff. And then plus how they had the plans and everything like that. That was also around the time when unlimited data was killed, too.
Oh, okay.
And all that stuff, because unlimited data was a thing at but come around 2007, AT&T and stuff like that, they started just to cut it. They cut it and all that stuff and that stuff and everything until T-Mobile came in, brought it back, and it became a popular thing again. Like all that stuff.
I've never had unlimited data.
And T-Mobile. Then the Sidekick was out when I was in high school, but I never got one until after high school. Like when I first had a job and all that stuff, and I got it. So I ended up, because I was like, I didn't want, at the time I was on Metro PCS. This is before T-Mobile bought them, and so their service wasn't that good. And so I was like, I was gonna go somewhere else. I wanted to go somewhere else. So it's like, I did all my research. Like AT&T, Verizon were expensive as heck. Even the iPhone was only on AT&T at the time.
Oh, I remember that.
And all that stuff. And that was for a while too. And I was like,
yeah, even when I had a phone.
And then like, I was like, I looked at the Sidekick. I always wanted a Sidekick. I looked at their pricing and planning and all that stuff. I got a Sidekick instead, and all that stuff. That way, because it fits within my budget and all that stuff. Then when the Android thing started becoming a hit and all that stuff, that's when I got my first Android phone. The T-Mobile G2, I think it was called at the time. It was like screen. And then if you flick up the screen, it has a keyboard on there.
Oh, it was like the vertical keyboard one.
It's horizontal.
Oh, it was horizontal. Did you guys ever see the vertical ones?
Yeah, I've seen vertical ones, but yeah. And then they started doing the whole iPhone. They tried to do like the whole iPhone thing where it's just the screen only, and all that stuff. My next phone became, I think it was a Galaxy, if I'm correct. And all that stuff. I didn't.
No, was this mainstream Galaxy or like Galaxy J5 and stuff like that?
No, mainstream.
Oh, okay.
I never touched like the off ones. Not the off-brand one. I mean like the low tier model ones and all that stuff.
No, they're not worth it to me.
And all that stuff. It depends on who you talk to.
Yeah, no, like if it's in the budget, I don't think it's.
It's more like
before the Note 9, I had like a J6.
Those kind of phones are convenient for people, especially if you're not an avid phone user. Like say how you know how I am on my phone. I'm literally on it and all that stuff, unless it's like something important and everything like that. But there are people like that just need the phone for simple stuff and don't care about all the bells and whistles and everything like that.
My dad had a flip phone until last year.
That's where those phones come in and everything like that. I've had a Note before. I will bring a story about one of those notes later on. And my first iPhone was 3 years ago. I want to say. I thought having it was a change, something different. Even though I've always used them. I know how to use them before, and all that stuff. And it's a similar. They're not like having that. And Isaac can help me out with this because since he's down, he now has an iPhone, but previously he had Android phones. There's not much difference between the two, besides the fact of how you use them and all that stuff. One of my gripes of always having an iPhone is the fact that you don't have the ability of customizing your phone. Like you cannot have
Right.
and all that stuff. It's like all the apps are on the home screen. You have if you want to like have it all. There's no app drawer or app library to like swipe to go up and look through all your apps and everything like that. There was no way of making change. There's no way of customizing the app icons themselves and everything like that. How you want to move things around, what do you want to show in particularly and all that stuff, and just that stuff in general was one of my main gripes of an iPhone. It looks like they're slowly starting to do that a bit, but I'm not pushing my luck on it as much and all that stuff. But it's like that's the only reason why I still stick with these phones, the Android phones particularly. It's like the fact it's like I can literally Samsung's phones in particular before the S10, I want to say, home screens were atrocious. Didn't like them, hated them, and all that stuff. But luckily, it's like the thing is about Android, it's an open platform where you can actually develop actual launchers where you can and all that stuff to customize how you want to look, where it can be like you can literally down to the T where it's like I can get on my phone, like I don't have like the buttons at the bottom screen, but like where to go back and all that stuff. Just swipe up, and it's like it'll take me to the drawer or anything like that, or I can just like hit swipe it to go back and all that stuff. I don't have to like press something to do that and everything like that. I can change the icon apps and all that stuff to something like that looks more cool and stylish and everything.
The theme, basically.
And pretty much like a whole have a theme for it and all that stuff and everything like that.
I love dark mode now.
Have it my way. Dark mode's been a lifesaver.
Yeah. No.
Now and all that stuff with now that becoming a big thing now. But other than that, it's like and all that stuff. But it's like I can say I'm well versed in different phones. I've had like different phones from I've had 2 different iPhones. I've had 3 or 4 different Galaxy phones. This is my first ever off non-Samsung Android phone, which is a OnePlus.
Nice.
And everything like that. So it's like I've seen it all and done everything like that and explored my different ones because I am a big tech person and all that stuff and everything like that. And it's like seeing new stuff. I always hoped Windows Phone would be a good thing, though it didn't.
No, it was terrible.
Google phones though.
Oh, Google Pixel.
The Pixel looks awesome.
Not the 4 though.
Nah, 3 looked way better than the 4.
It's Android. It's still Android, but it's just Pixel. It's Google's own phone. That's it.
Yeah.
With their own stuff. That's it. That's all it is. That's why I don't. I mean, on an OS perspective, an operating system perspective, it's more. I was hoping more out of a Windows phone and all that stuff, but didn't come to be. I mean, though they shifted their stuff to like more of doing services, like just providing apps on Android and iOS and all that stuff, which has helped them out a lot too. But other than that, that's just my history. But the thing is more of the fact of like, since we're talking about phones. We've talked about histories and all that stuff. We're gonna talk about future phones in the future. How about we talk about what we're using currently and all that stuff? And is it an improvement from what you previously had? Do you think you want something more coming in, something new and all that stuff? Manny, let's go with you because I think your phone's like the oldest one out of the 3 of us.
Yeah. So got my first phone by myself about a couple weeks before I started freshman year, and it was a Samsung J6 or like J5, one of the two. had it till I want to say 2 months into senior year.
Mm.
Then that's when I just went down and bought the Note 9. Then a couple weeks after that, a couple months after that, Note 10 came out.
That's a huge step.
Yeah, no, it was a big saving. But then a couple weeks after the 10 came out, I contemplated getting the 10. I decided it wasn't worth it.
Oh yeah, we had the discussion.
Yeah.
I remember having a discussion with you because you got it right before the 10 was gonna get announced, and I told you I was like,
Yeah.
I should have waited.
Yeah. It's like, it's not worth it to get to 10 because I could have upgraded for only a couple bucks, but I was like, it's not worth it. So I just kept it. I'll probably wait till like 11, 12 maybe before I upgrade. I won't upgrade. It's treated me amazing.
Well,
storage space is good.
Oh, we'll talk about that stuff. We'll talk about.
Storage space is good. It's good. Like nothing's wrong with it. I don't really take photos as much, so like the photo part is like good enough for me. Like it exceeded my needs, but I like it.
Now, would you say is it as of now? Would you keep the phone still for a little bit longer? Do you plan on upgrading, or do you think like you probably should have got something else that's less features or something like that, or something like anything?
No, I'm glad I got this one. I like the features it has. And I wouldn't upgrade until like 11 or 12. I would wait till maybe not 11. I'll probably get 12. Like just wait till the 12 to come out, the Note 12 or the regular 12. I'm not sure yet. I do like the Note because of the S Pen. I really love the S Pen because I'm able to like draw and do digital art stuff like that on it. Okay. So that's one reason I got the Note instead of the regular. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I love that because I'm always watching videos or playing games on it, so the quality of the screen's awesome.
Now another thing, I want to ask you this before we go to Isaac. Yeah. Would you switch to an iPhone?
No.
Why?
I don't really care for it. I never had an iPhone personally. Like I've never had one.
Well, yeah.
But like I've used them because like my cousins, all they get is iPhones. So I've used them. I don't really care for them. I don't like the way the layout is. I don't like the way it feels. Not feels. That I can get over that. But like I don't know. I don't like it. I don't know if they're still using glass screens. Are they still using like glass screens?
Yes.
Most likely.
That's another thing also.
Most screens are glass though. But anyways, yeah.
Well, yeah, this one's Gorilla Glass though.
Oh, you're being more particular about it. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
Moving on.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
The fragility.
You're being more technical about it with the glass.
You thought I would? That's the big thing for me. I dropped this quite a bit.
I was like, all phones have glass on it. I was like, what the heck?
Like, no, not that. I know that.
Yeah. So since you said Gorilla Glass, I'm like, oh, you want to get all technical now with it?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know the specs of it, but I prefer this type of glass like style. Yeah.
All right, Isaac. What is your current?
Okay.
What is your current phone that you're currently using?
I am using an iPhone 11, not the Pro, just the regular 11.
Oh, not the Pro Max.
No, not the Pro, not the Pro Max, just the regular.
4 lenses.
I know, right? I thought about I wanted to get the 11 Pro, but then I was looking at the price. I was like, never mind.
Why don't you get the X?
I don't know.
The 10?
But
yeah, 10.
Nah.
I thought it was the X.
The XR. The X or the XR.
X Pro, X Max, X Ultra.
So the story behind this is that the reason why I got an iPhone 11.
Oh yeah, I want to know this because I never asked why you got this and all that stuff. Yeah. The day when I found out you got this, I was like,
what?
Seriously?
Well, I know. So I was always an Android user, and I never really got iPhones at all, and there was never specific reasons why I never got an iPhone, but I myself kind of climbed on the bandwagon of that argument between like Android versus iPhones, and then I was just all about like, because I always had Android, so I was just like, yeah, iPhones suck, but I never gave iPhones a chance. I just did that just because I kind of went with the crowd a little bit, which I shouldn't have. And other than that, I've always, like I said, always had Android phones. But the one Android phone I really loved was the OnePlus 6T. That was a really good phone, and I gave that one down to my brother when I got the iPhone 11. And there was nothing wrong with that phone. It was amazing. It had great facial unlocking abilities. That was real fast. I'll barely look at it, and it was like unlocked like that quickly. Great storage, great RAM. Like I never hated that phone. It was an awesome phone.
Wait, did you just have the flip up camera like Ricky used to?
No, that was a 7. I only had the 6.
That one's cool.
The one I really wanted to get was the OnePlus McLaren. That one looked heck.
That sounds dope.
I really wanted to get that one, but I didn't end up getting that one. Other than that, the reason why I switched to an iPhone 11 is just because I guess I kind of got a little bit influenced by the people around me because they all had iPhones, and I was just like, you know what? I never gave iPhones a chance, and I kind of want to see for myself what everybody loves about it. So I finally was just like, screw it, I'm gonna get an iPhone 11. So I got off of Metro, went to T-Mobile, then I got an iPhone 11. And at first it was really weird because I was just like so used to Android phones. So I was not used to like what Ricky explained to before about like how all the apps are on there. I couldn't remove them. There was no app library. So it was just like really weird. But once I finally got the hang of the iPhone, I see why everybody loves them. Because it's so easy. Everything's customized for you. It's there. You're just a user. You're not a customizer. You don't do anything else than that. And I see why people love it because they're not having to like mess around with things and or anything like that. You just open your phone and there you go. Like you're good to go. And Ricky already explained this already. The what's that word again that he used? The
customizability.
Not the why am I thinking of the word economy? Not the economy. The
ecosystem.
What's that? Ecosystem. There we go. My brain was not working.
Was the economy? As soon as you said economy, I was like, okay.
It's like economy. No, not the economy. But anyways, the ecosystem is awesome. So I have the AirPod Pro. Folks, I already said that before. And I used to have a watch, but I sold that one, and now I'm trying to get a newer watch. But I love how the way things sync up so easily. It's not even hard at all, and it's just like everything works with each other so good and so well. And that's not something I've experienced before. Because a lot of Android phones don't have like their own like products other than like OnePlus and Samsung, maybe LG, but I'm just saying like not a lot of products have like their own like specified earbuds, their own specified watches, their own specified, all these things that go together. That could be wrong.
Right? I think.
Didn't
Google just come out with one or have one for a while? The earbuds.
Google has its own buds for the Pixel one.
Yeah. But
I don't know about watch. I think that's just Apple and Samsung.
Well, I don't know if Samsung came out with earbuds before Apple. I don't know.
No, they came out after AirPods.
But
okay, cool.
Galaxy Buds became a thing after the AirPod.
After what?
Right.
You cut out on my side. I just saw Galaxy Buds.
I saw Galaxy Buds were a thing after the AirPod.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw them. I didn't know anything about them until after AirPods got so popular.
Right. And so that brings me to my point of where like I felt like iPhones they created things that were like specified for their own product. You know what I'm saying? And then that's how like others started joining, which isn't a bad thing.
Honestly, I was tempted to get an iPhone just because of the watch. To be honest.
The watch is dope.
Yeah, because I like the whole call thing. Because like it showed like in the commercials, it was like Mighty Morphin Rangers and like, Alpha, and then like it cuts to like
that's cool.
It cuts
I know the Samsung Frontier watches are really good. I know Ricky has one. And
I think we're getting the Gear.
Is the Samsung Gear?
Yeah,
well, that's what they're called.
That's what it's called, right? That's what they're called.
Yeah.
Anything.
I think it was like the Gear 3 or year 2. I think.
I think the one I wanted to get was Samsung S3, the Gear, but I never got it. I don't know why. But anyhow, with all that to say, is that I do like the iPhones. I do how I like they're easy to use, and I think they're really good for anybody that's like just wanting to use, not to customize, not to do anything like that. If you just want to use a phone, iPhones are for you. So that's my state on it.
Now, do you enjoy your phone right now? Do you plan on upgrading it anytime soon, whether it be another iPhone, a new iPhone, or back to Android?
It depends on what OnePlus does, and it depends on how the iPhone 12 looks like. So if OnePlus comes out with like something super crazy and new, I'm like, what? I'm going with that. I'm going back to Android immediately. You know, but if iPhones come out like, wait, don't leave. We're coming out
We
with
have
something
7
new.
cameras.
Because I kind of give up on iPhones, man. It's just like, no, I know, right? I think the only thing that annoy me about iPhones is like they're not creative. They're just not. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't create anything that's innovative. Where I'm just like, whoa, that's amazing, that's awesome.
Phone-wise, I don't think so. I feel like electronic-wise, they are really innovative. I think. Like, because like you said, like.
Wait a minute. Phone-wise, they're not creative. Electronic-wise, they're creative.
Yeah, like as in like the ecosystem, the watches, the buds, like they inspired a bunch of other companies to do the same thing.
Phone is under the same is electronic device.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You should have just more references. It's not the phone. It's more the other products they provide that are more creative.
Right. Well, but I do feel like they create one solid thing, and then they just like slowly upgraded it. Like
You also
time.
do have to realize it's not just the hardware. It's also the software. They also focus on the most too.
True, very true. But it would be honestly a little bit cooler if they kind of focused a little bit more on the phone. Like, don't give me more camera lenses. Like, I don't care about that.
Okay, well then here's the other thing about that. And honestly, like this phone design, particularly nowadays on smartphones, is a tricky thing, and all that stuff.
Right.
Like, what would you want in particular? And Manny, you can jump on this question too. What would you want that's new, and all that stuff that's unique to a phone on a phone, design wise and everything like that. Like we've seen hold on, man. Like we've seen like the whole like on Android phones in particularly where the screen is curved in. Curved phone like folding phones are starting to become a thing.
Right.
Like they're there's like prototypes, but there's one official one that's out. But other than that, there's stuff coming out. We're seeing the front camera lens being a part of the screen and all that stuff, or if it's my phone, the camera pops out and all that stuff.
I like that part.
And of course, like we have, then like the S Pen itself and everything like that on Galaxy phones, where you can write on it and everything like that.
Right.
I mean, phones are the screens on a phone are big enough as it is right now, and all that stuff. Like, what else? What in particular? And all that stuff.
So I'm gonna explain one. This is just me. I feel like most people won't like this. This is just. Well, I mean, they might. I don't know. So I thought it'd be dope. Like, so you know how like it's a flat thing right now. Like, what if we gave it more of like a? What if we gave it more of like a rounded towards the bottom? Like to hold it different. You know what I mean? So like it fits your hand.
Excuse my language on this. You're trying to give it more ass?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You're trying to
like,
give the phone
like,
an ass?
Maybe like flat, and then like not this much, but like you know, like a little like bump maybe, like so like you can like.
He's trying to give the phone
like,
curves.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that'd be kind of dope. Like in your hand, I feel like it'd be amazing. But the thing is, like, I feel like it'd be really weird in your pocket, because like you just have like folds like in your pocket. But like I don't know. I feel like holding it in your hands, like see how like you got like empty space like right there.
So
like maybe like something to like
okay
grip it.
I'm not.
That's what it's
I
called.
don't have.
Socket.
I don't have empty space when I hold my hand, when I hold my phone like this. And this is like
I
how
don't fall flat though. I hold it.
I don't do like how I use my phone. Is like it doesn't have empty space or anything like that. From what you're explaining.
I do. I don't. What you got? On my
So,
fingers. Like,
so why can't the smartphone actually do smartphone things? You know what I'm saying?
It like raises to your like fingers and everything.
Because there was like that man, remember like Marty McFly, like back in the future.
Yeah, Back to the Future. Yeah.
When they came back to the exact date in the movie. I forgot what it was. It was like 2000 something. And then I think one Saturday Night Live show actually brought them on for the same day, like same time and everything.
Oh, that's dope.
And they were like, "This is the future, Marty." They're like, "Yeah." And it was the original actors and everything. It was awesome.
Damn.
They said, it's like, and then I think it was Jimmy Kimmel. It was Jimmy Kimmel, and then they're like,
Oh, okay.
they're like, "Yeah, we got smartphones now." They're like, "Whoa, you guys have smartphones? They can do complicated equations and solve like this crazy thing." And then he's like, "No, we just look at memes and call each other and text." And he's like, "The future sucks." He's like, and so I think that was just funny. But to answer that question of like, what can we prove on a smartphone is I think that's a hard question to answer, even for me.
Well, this more pertains to the. Hold on, Manny.
Okay.
This is more pertaining to like the design of the phone and all that stuff, of how it looks and everything like that. This is what I meant by what can we improve on? Because as I mentioned, I already mentioned like a few things already, like phone screen's kind of curved in. The phone is mostly screen on the front, all that stuff. You have the home camera built in with the screen and all that stuff, instead of just having out there and all that stuff in its own dedicated space and all that stuff. Surround sound speakers and all that stuff and everything like that. Just to name some stuff, it's like what more can you improve on that? Whether it can be like a new iPhone or a Galaxy or any Android phone particularly.
Now, there's one innovate. I don't know if that's true. I don't think it's real or not. But one thing I really like looked on is like when people like will make like fake videos of like things, and we think it's real, and we're like, what? That would be awesome if it was real. So one of the coolest things I've seen is like a wrist phone, and like it projects onto your forearm.
As soon as you said he's like a wrist phone, I was like, that's called an Apple Watch. I was just about to say.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean. But like it projects onto your forearm, and like you can see it on the holographic form on your forearm, and then you can use it there. Or there's always been like the talks of like anything holographic at all, if anything if that can even happen. And so you know how like
glass.
That's true. That's one innovative thing that I would love to see honestly come to life. Still, it is actually Google Glasses. That'd be really cool. That'd be dope. No, yeah.
There's actually I don't know, but there's a company that's already like made it way better than Google Glass. I'll just send you guys a link later on. I forget the company's name, but it goes off the glasses and like bounces and then like projects on your eye or something like that, and like only you can see it. It's kind of cool, but kind of like sketchy. I'll just send you guys a link later.
Like you can watch videos like that.
Yeah, and it's not on the glass. It projects off the glass, bounces, and it goes onto your like retina. I thought it was fake, to be honest, but it's like legit.
Nah.
I feel like a lot of people will watch a lot of inappropriate things that way.
Nah, I feel like they'd be like watching TikTok.
Man, are you listening to me? You're just like
watching TikTok.
Are you watching something inappropriate? No. Anyways,
it's that wheelchair guy.
Yeah. Anyways, I think I think Samsung is in the right direction. Has like been innovative. They created the phone to like have more screen, which is something that you don't really see on a lot of phones. Which is I enjoy that. Their cameras have always been updated all the time. Yeah. And OnePlus has always impressed me by even pushing that screen boundaries even more. and so I think I enjoy that even more. I think they have the most fluid phone out there right now, the fluidity. Um, the thing I hate about the iPhone 11 that MKBHD mentioned is that you can't watch videos above 720p. That's a true thing.
On an iPhone 11 by itself,
11,
yes,
by itself,
but a Pro and a Max does
like 1080, and I was just like, that's the thing that I hate. I was like, why can't you put 1080 on the iPhone 11? Like, I don't get that. And so it's just like
that's the pricing.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know 1080p costed that much. So
apparently so. I don't know how. Right? I don't know how when it's like most phones can do 1080p no matter what. You just it's more of a standard now. It's like I don't know why you're making it more. I can understand it's like you somehow be able to show 4K on a Pro or a Max on an iPhone.
To be honest, I think that's coming soon already.
That's well, 4K recordings are already a thing on most phones now, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like we're just waiting for that either Samsung or even Apple to be like
4K screen,
4K watt. You can watch your stuff in 4K, but then again, it's like there's not much.
It's funny you can record in 4K, but you can't watch it in 4K on your phone, which is retarded.
Yeah. I don't know what it's for. Like,
well, because it's like most.
What else do you watch it on?
Well, on an iPhone in particular, iPhone stuff like you can literally like record something that can be in a 4K product. You can send that over to like if you're using like one of their editing softwares, whether it be iMovie or Final Cut Pro on a Mac, and then upload that into YouTube because YouTube does do 4K and all that stuff.
Right.
That and all that stuff, but it's just like putting it on a screen. It's already technically there. Mine's go to 1440, which is technically 2K, not 4K. And so it's already like there's a chance they can't happen. Like I said, it's just depending on who will take it out, bring it out first, and all that stuff and everything. So it's like you would think like all phone standards should have you be able to watch something in 1080p and all that stuff and everything, but for some reason I don't know why Apple decided to do 720 on a standard iPhone 11. Now, if like I said, if the Pro or the Pro Max were like, you can watch those in 4K, you can watch stuff in 4K, and then you still have 1080p on the standard iPhone 11. That's fine. And all that stuff. What I was gonna mention was like, not much content wise for 4K stuff. And all that stuff. You don't see a lot of 4K content stuff on content side of things and everything like that. Hell, it's hard to stream 4K and all that stuff. And nowadays and all that stuff, just to stream stuff and all that stuff, because it's like it's somewhat at a premium in ways, because like freaking you have to charge Netflix have to charge you extra if you want 4K content. Watch your stuff in 4K.
And that's the thing I miss about like OnePlus and Android is that the warp charging or the fast charging is that I do miss that. iPhones don't have that. They don't have fast charging.
Well, don't they charge fast in general?
No. My phone doesn't charge hella fast. Like, I can leave it on here for like maybe an hour and a half, and then it charges fully. So, I've never seen it charge fast.
Well, yeah, okay. So, I mean, that hour and a half, that kind of makes sense. House with the fast charge, you can get like halfway there within 30 minutes.
See, with the OnePlus, you have like the warp charging, which gives you like half a charge within like 30 minutes, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But I think they're gonna do like lightning fast charging on the iPhone 12. I'm like, wow, they're gonna take something's already made, and then they're gonna be like, we created warp charging.
Because it's gonna be there, because they're gonna work, because they're working on, because they're, even though it's something that existed, it's something that they pretty much improved on to make it more faster and all that stuff, to make it work on for their products.
Right. They do that. They do take things and they do improve it. They make it, people
kind of make it their own thing.
Exactly. I would not know what they're gonna call this fast charging. Like iFast? I don't know.
No. Thunder charging. No. Yeah, thunder charging. Because when you got the lightning cable, why not thunder? It's not the coolest.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that I can see.
Yeah.
If they're gonna stick with that theme.
No, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
Turbo charge? That'd be dope.
Probably.
Isn't that
I don't
already?
know.
I think turbocharged is already a thing.
Oh. Well, I know that's
Never
like
mind that.
on vehicles, but like.
I think that's probably where I got it from. Man.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know about phones. Maybe.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, would you stick with the phone you have?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. To answer
Or,
your question,
To upgrade it, or would you upgrade
I would-
it?
I would upgrade it only on the expense of how innovative OnePlus is in the future and how innovative iPhone is going to be in the future. So honestly, I might wait next year. So next year rolls around and OnePlus blows my mind, I might go to Android. But if iPhone still stay the same, you're like, oh, we added some features and 4 camera lenses this time or 5. I'm like, okay, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the reason why I will stick to an iPhone is because it's just so easy because everybody has one. And you're just like, oh, send me this. I'm like, okay, here you go. And it's just like with Android and iPhone, it's like, oh, send me the video. And you're like, I can't view it, or it's all choppy or whatever. You're like, oh, you have an iPhone? I'm like, yeah, I think that's why. And so, I don't know.
I kind of like airdrops from Apple.
Oh, yeah, the AirDrop.
Yeah. Like, you can just, like, be in the crowd and be like,
Okay, so
Find this
remember
man.
that convention?
No, airdrops are the
Remember-
most. Airdrops are the most annoying thing if it's used wrong.
So remember at convention, everybody was like, youth convention, everybody was airdropping everything.
yeah.
And then everybody, like, in line before they were going into the service, everybody was just like, oh my god, it was airdropping, and blah, blah, blah. And they made it seem so cool. And then I'm just like, what's airdrop? And everybody's like, oh, you got an Android. You don't know what airdrop
And
is.
you're like,
I'm like,
what?
I was like, no, it's airdrop. And they're like, oh, only iPhones can do it. I'm like, what is it? They're like, where somebody sends you something. I'm like, so it's a text message?
That was when that happened. That was what, 2 years ago.
Yeah,
That convention?
Yeah.
That feature's been around longer than was on before that, and it's like the fact that people use it now or using it now. It's like that feature's been around for a while now.
I think the question is how they're using it now. Not, like, because,
Well,
like,
no,
they're just, like,
it's just
using it for, like, weird things. Like,
Well, you literally send anything via AirDrop and all that stuff.
they're, like, sending memes.
Even when it was first introduced and all that stuff, it could literally be like a picture or maybe like a small video link or something like that. You can literally send it via AirDrop and all that stuff. The fact that I was like 2 years, that was 2 years ago, was like, and that was like a big thing. I was like, y'all are something. Y'all are crazy.
Remember the one we had?
Y'all
remember the
just
one we had
learning about
within our group?
No, let's not talk about that, please.
Oh, okay, we're just talking about what thing?
Oh, so. Yeah.
Another question.
AirDrop. Just to bring this up, AirDrop was introduced in 2011.
What? But all these little kids thought it was like something like super new.
Yeah. It's just like when that happened, and it's like people are like, "Oh, they're airdropping." I'm like, y'all just learning about that?
Yeah, right?
Like, really?
I'm like, what? I should have been like, what? I can do the same thing. I should have texted Ricky. I text messaged Ricky. I should have done that. Why did you do that?
It's like, who skydropped me? They're like, what skydrop?
If someone said,
It's like,
if
oh,
someone
you
said-
have an Apple.
no, if someone said iDrop, I would have been like, what the hell are you talking about? It's like, oh, you're an Apple person. I would have been like, you're referring to AirDrop, and all of a sudden they're like, how do you know that? I'm like, I ain't stupid.
What's an iDrop? Is that just another?
That's
term
not a
for
thing.
it?
That's not a thing. If someone called it that, I would have been like, you're stupid.
Oh, that's weird. They're
that
iDropping me. What?
Right?
If someone called it, I'm like, you are something else. Oh, that's
These children in their
Okay,
devices.
here's actually a question I have for you guys. Would
Alright.
you guys prefer because you know how like it was like the brick, which was huge, and it started getting smaller to like the BlackBerry, which was like extremely small, the first iPhone small, and then started growing in size again. Would you guys want it to go smaller, or would you guys
No.
want it to keep same size?
same size it is right now. Because I watch stuff. Well, I watch stuff on my phone. That's why.
Yeah. Well, that's why I feel like the size it is right now makes sense.
I mean, they can go ahead and release a small screen phone, whether it be a small for an iPhone or even a freaking or Galaxy or and all that stuff. It's just like, because like I think there are people who fits that category, that is like they probably don't watch stuff on their phone. They just use it mainly for texting or calling stuff, or maybe looking at having the occasional app to look at something and everything like that and all that stuff. But it's like, for me in particular, it's like I like that screen real estate and all that stuff, and the fact that I can watch a video at this screen size is good for me.
So good they were like iPhone Mini or something like that.
I'd have been like, congratulations. Most likely you're gonna get a nice sizable amount of people that's gonna buy that phone.
Yeah. Isaac, what about you?
What was the question? Sorry.
Would you want a smaller screen phone?
Why I want a smaller what?
Smaller screen phone.
Or just a smaller phone in general?
No. Because honestly, with the size of my hand, I don't think it'll go well.
There's that also.
Not
yeah.
true.
See, when I saw like a 7-foot guy with like a iPhone SE, like the really small one,
Mm-hmm.
and like his thumb was like hitting everything. I'm just like, bro. I was like, why do you have that? Like, you deserve a 7-inch display, man. It'll make your whole life easier. But it was just funny though. And plus,
an iPad.
Yeah. Yeah, an iPad. No, it was funny though, because it's just like, for a bigger guy, it just wouldn't look right.
Yeah.
Like, I would literally have to like try not to press everything.
It's like you pull out your quick pen.
Right. I had a phone. That had like a keyboard on it already, and how I even like worked that phone still makes me wonder, because I would like type hecka fast on that phone.
Yeah.
And the buttons were like small.
Well, the Sidekick was kind of small too.
Yeah.
Button-wise.
Well, yeah, but like, because me having a Sidekick, having it at that time for that convenience, with that screen's real estate, that was fine for me. You know, stuff.
Yeah.
Because at that time it was like, YouTube wasn't as big. Well, it was, but it wasn't as big as it is now. It wasn't
like a global as big.
Twitch wasn't a thing. Also, and everything like that. Not everybody had streaming servers. Didn't exist at the time, and all that stuff. So it's like, you don't like. For me, like watching stuff, like I wouldn't like me for that situation I was in at that time, and all that stuff for what I needed. That was perfect. Me now, it's like I do watch stuff on my phone. I do want to like get more of that screen real estate to look at more stuff and everything like that.
So how do you feel about the new Sidekicks?
There are no new Sidekicks.
I'm sure there is. It's not an actual Sidekick name. It's not like.
Then don't call it a Sidekick.
Well, Sidekick style phones.
You mean the foldable phones?
No. Disposable. No, not disposable.
Foldable, I said, not disposable.
Oh, they disposable. I was like, no, not disposable phones.
Those are a thing, though.
Yeah. I've had a couple.
Foldable phones. While Manny looks for this and all that stuff,
yeah.
I guess I can bring up my phone currently. I have a OnePlus 7 Pro. Literally just came out last year. I've only had it for almost a year. No, a year. I've had it for a year now. All that stuff. 'Cause I got it like this around this time. I love it. I enjoy it. The screen is a nice screen size. You're seeing notifications, but you can't read them. Everything like that. What else can I say? The fact that the storage space on this is, I think I'm almost done with it, and I've had this for a year, and all that stuff. Like literally, and all that stuff. I think it's just mostly because I have videos and stuff like that too. And for that stuff, and it's just like, but I enjoy this. I like the camera. I like how the camera looks on this one, and all that stuff. You can see here for the video people that are watching this. Other than that, it's just like I watch my stuff, do my texting. If I want to go a little in depth on it, I use this thing called Nova Launcher. It lets me design how I want to show what kind of screens, how I want to navigate it. Like I can literally like just double tap on the screen. Oh, I just open an app. Double tap on the screen, it brings up my app library and all that stuff. Just to get like an example of what I can do with it. Would I wanna upgrade on this phone? I'm contemplating on that right now. The 8 came out this year. But my T-Mobile doesn't carry those. The Pro model one, only the regular model. And I know a new iPhone, a new Galaxy is gonna get announced soon. Of course, a new iPhone is gonna get announced soon too, also. So it's like I could see how those ones look out. The Galaxy S20, which came out earlier this year, is a nice phone too. And it's like nice over what it brings. What I would go to an iPhone, but not at the moment. The only reason why is for a gaming sense of it. For the fact of because like Xbox is doing its own like game streaming service, and you can only do that stuff on Android phones. There's like Apple has like this strict app policy kind of stuff with like streaming stuff when it comes to games and all that stuff. So it's like no point of getting an Apple device of any sorts if I can't do that stuff.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see how it goes. Like I said, the 8's are the OnePlus 8 phone's already out, but the one I want is not on the mobile device on the carrier that I use. The new Note, which will most likely be called the S20, was coming out. Is gonna come out. Is gonna get announced soon. The new iPhones, of course, gonna get announced soon. But I already told myself I wasn't gonna do those. I'm probably in the idea of maybe getting a Pixel when that comes out. If not, the barking was on our end, not yours. Just to let you know. But we'll see. A lot of stuff. This is actually like this in the phone before. I've actually held these for a long time. Normally, I end up updating them at a lower time span when I update phones. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Did you find out what it was, Manny?
Oh, it's a Moto mod.
Moto mod?
Yeah, you know, like the Moto, how it has like attachments.
Oh, the Moto X.
Yeah, it's like you know how they have the attachment things.
They have the mods. They have the mods and all that stuff with all that. You can attach certain things to it. I thought that was.
Yeah.
I didn't like that at all, honestly.
I thought it was kind of cool. The camera one I thought was kind of pointless, but the other ones were kind of cool.
In
They had a
concept,
projector
yes.
one, which was kind of cool.
In concept, yes, but I think.
I don't know about functionality. I don't know.
Actually using it, it doesn't seem something I would use.
Honestly, it only had 2 that I thought was dope. And I'm hearing feedback of myself. But yeah, it had the projector one, which I thought was kind of dope. I don't know about how big the projection size was and how good the quality was, so I can't really say if that's good or not. And the second one was it had a JBL speaker case, which I thought was really dope.
I thought that was overdoing it.
I thought that was cool, cause like, what if like you're just chilling with your friends, like you just bring your phone?
Yeah, but what if you need to use your phone for something?
Yeah, you're right, but just take the case off.
Yeah, and the music stops playing.
Yeah. Well, if you got to use it, you're probably gonna stop the music anyways.
But don't you want to keep the music playing?
I'm not if you got to use it.
And
like even if you have music playing like with the speaker,
but more of what I'm trying to get at in a situation of the scenario is like, say if you're doing that, but you're hanging out with friends and all that stuff, like a small get together. You have that little Moto mod attached to your phone and all that stuff. Then you realize you have to grab it and to do something and all that stuff, and you take the thing is you have to stop the thing you have to stop the music in order to do that, and it just kills the vibe.
Yeah.
All that stuff. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm just trying to get at with that. But anyways.
Well, I think people use it with the case on.
Huh?
Like unless you're on YouTube. Unless you're like on YouTube, you just hold it with the speaker going. Like it's just a case, so like you can just hold it.
You do. I'm not gonna get into details because I don't know how that the whole speaker mod thing works and all together at one and all that stuff. But speaking of which, since we've talked about what we've done to upgrade, let's talk about future phones. As I mentioned, we have the S20 that just came out not that long ago. We have the OnePlus 8 series that just came out. The next Note, which is probably gonna be called the Note S20, because it's gonna keep the number. It has to keep the number scheme with the regular Galaxy phones. And then of course the new iPhone, the iPhone 12, and whatever models they'll call after that. And all that stuff. Like, what do you expect out of these? Like, what do you want? Like, Manny has a Note. You have an iPhone, Isaac. Like, what would you expect out of these phones in particular? Like, look, Manny, for you with the Note, what would you want from the rumored Note S20?
Maybe more pen functions. Maybe.
Describe these pen functions.
So like like right now, if you like take it out and like phone up, or like you have your phone set up on the table and camera, and you have the pen, you click it, it takes a photo. I don't know if you know that or not.
Yeah.
Okay. So like maybe like more functions, like maybe like I don't know, like more screenwriting capabilities, because you can't really screenwrite on too many different things. Has to be like a certain
more
apps,
more apps that support the S Pen.
Yeah, and then maybe like not games, like 'cause you can like say you have Pac-Man or something like that, like use pen if you want to, but like maybe like more functions in general. So like maybe quicker response time on the drawing part, because sometimes it kind of lags.
Okay, so for on a hardware perspective, like a better response time.
Yeah, that's mainly about it.
Well, would that be more to the? Oh wait, would that be more to the fact of you having the phone for a while now, or is just more the fact of like this is a common thing in general with that?
No, it's just a common thing in general. Because even when I first got it, it was
Okay.
kind of the same. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure they probably improved that in last year's model, and they'll probably most likely do it again with this year's model.
Yeah.
With on the response time, app support, I do believe that. There's always those certain apps that do have the support, but then most like the ones you will probably use don't have it at all. I can understand.
Yeah.
That.
And then maybe something, because I didn't like the the Note 10, how it had like the whole screen, but like the face camera was kind of like a notch out, like a little notch.
It was in the screen, right?
Yeah, maybe get rid of that, because I thought that was kind of annoying. Like maybe do like what OnePlus does, like the flip up
Most
or
phones,
something.
Most phones are doing it now. Are doing it now. The Note 10 did it. The Galaxy S20 is doing it. Even the one.
It had a flip up front camera.
No. I mean the notch.
Oh, the notch. Yeah, no, I just don't care for
Even
it.
the OnePlus 8 this year's model has the notch too.
Oh, it has the notch now too.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not doing the pop up thing. And all that stuff.
Damn,
and
I really thought that
so
pop-up
I
was
wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised if the Note will have a notch. And all that
Yeah.
stuff and everything. Now, do you think since are they gonna follow like how other phones are doing it now, where they're gonna have like a Note 8 and then like a Note 8 Plus or something like that?
I
Like
think they
where
will,
where it has like extra stuff, like a camera. The camera has like 5 different lenses and all that stuff.
I feel like they most likely are. That's the way most phones are going nowadays. I believe that they are. Mainly just getting like the trend.
Now, and then also with that being a thing, say you did want to get the Note S20, would you go with the regular one or would you go with that new upgraded model that has like the nice specs?
I'd probably go with the new upgraded model. I sprung for the terabyte of memory for mine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably end up going with the upgraded model.
Though most Samsung phones have external hardware support, hard drive support too.
Yeah.
Okay. No, so that's nice. I think August is when they're gonna get that announced. So keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I'll probably just ask you for.
Isaac, you have the 11. We have the 12 coming out pretty soon and all that stuff. Like, what are your expectations from the 12 and all that stuff? Are we gonna see a 12, a 12 Pro, and a 12 Pro Max again? Are we gonna like 3 phones? Are they gonna shrink it down to 2? Will the 12 stick to a 720p screen?
Will the 12 have more cameras?
Well, I hope that the 12 will be. I will hope they will improve on their face unlocking, because I noticed that on this phone, on iPhone 12,
The 11.
it doesn't really respond well when I do the face unlocking.
Oh, the Face ID.
Yeah, Face ID doesn't really work that well. Like compared to OnePlus, is not that great. Like I'll be in the dark, and sometimes like OnePlus was still able to read my face really fast. And when I'm in the dark, iPhone 12 is like it doesn't even work, and it just sends you straight to like putting your pin. And I got used to that, but it's just kind of annoying. What else? I hope they give a little more leeway on being able to create what you wanted to put on your phone.
You're most likely
you're
already going to see that with the new software update coming soon.
Okay, never mind then. But I know that.
Wait, just a quick question.
Go ahead.
I don't really know about iPhones or the new ones. Does it have thumbprint scan?
No. It's all screen. It doesn't have because it doesn't have a button.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have a. It doesn't.
Well, yeah.
Like,
Well, this one doesn't either, but it's in the back.
Because I was just about to say that. Yeah, no, I know that most Android phones do fingerprints via using the screen, but Apple just decided to just let go of fingerprint stuff and just did the whole Face ID.
Oh, okay.
Right. And it wasn't a bad idea. It's just that I hope they improve on that. Feel like they're.
I was gonna say, would you want a fingerprint reader on the screen on an iPhone?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind, honestly. That would be pretty cool. Unless it was like fluid, that had a really nice fluidity. If it didn't have nice fluidity, I would hate it. But we'd have to see until it came out. What else I would like to see on there is better displays on the phones. So as in my phone right now, it's sadly a 720, which I don't know why they do that. I don't know why they can't put a 1080 on everything. I would like to see the refresh hertz be a lot more better. I'm not saying it lags, not saying like, but I've noticed that on things I've watched, it can be a little laggy, and so I wish they upgrade that as well. The camera is amazing. Can't beat that. The recording is amazing. The live photos is amazing. The photos in general, the camera is amazing. And I love how they are innovative on cameras, which is funny, but they're not innovative like on their phones or building them a little better. I wish they weren't so fragile, iPhones. I hope they'll be a little more durable. And I don't know how they would do that. I don't know if they would, incorporate a plastic case. I don't know if it would be a carbon fiber case.
That'd be dope. Sure. I tried that phone, it was all carbon fiber.
Yeah, it was all carbon fiber. Something where it doesn't crack so easy, because I had my brother-in-law cracked his phone immediately when it fell from his pocket, from his shirt pocket. It just fell out and boom, cracked. That was it. So. I wouldn't mind if they got rid of the glass case. Like it's all like the iPhone 12 is all surrounded. The whole thing is glass.
The whole phone, yeah.
The whole phone is glass, and it makes it look really nice. And I'm not against that, but it's just that fragileness though. Like if you don't have no case or real like an OtterBox, you're screwed. You're screwed. It's slippery and it'll fall.
That's where like the for example, the XR, because I think that's not all glass. Correctly, but that's like a cheaper. But then again, it's like a cheaper, lower spec iPhone, which is like why?
Right. And I wouldn't mind if like they had like some like sapphire, screen or Gorilla screen to make it not crack so easy, which would be awesome. As in for the headphone jack, I kind of miss it. I kind of don't. Just because I got used to it.
Well,
but
yeah, I miss it for one reason. Be honest with you.
You have a headphone jack.
Yeah, no, like what I'm saying is like on new phones, like because like sometimes my friends will be with me and stuff like that. So like in my truck and stuff, it needs an aux cord, like it's really like radio. So like
Yes.
for like traveling wise, like even like in Ricky's car, like it's not that old, but like it still need. I don't know if you can Bluetooth under the scanner.
No.
No, yeah. See, that's the one thing I don't like, because like most cars still need the aux jack to aux cord. I mean, in order to have music. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I do miss about aux cords. That's
Yeah, I
not
feel.
glad mine has it still.
Yeah, and I agree on that. I think I hate sometimes having to like when I didn't have the AirPods Pro, I hated having the having to get an adapter to put in your headphones and then put in the charger at the
Yeah.
same time. You get used to it, but it would be awesome if if it was something a little more easier. But again, if you don't have the AirPods Pro, then it's gonna be a
Or
little
just any
difficult.
Bluetooth headset in general.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So other than that, that's it. I think for the iPhone to be more durable, work on the Face ID, to work on their refresh hertz, make sure their display screens are a little higher end, and to make not the iPhone all glass. That would be awesome. So if they can improve on those things in iPhone 12, that would be a lot better. And I probably might upgrade if they did that.
Just bring
Now,
the.
would you?
Just bring the. Oh, go ahead. Finish. Go ahead.
No,
Ask.
what?
No. You're gonna ask. I was gonna move on, but go ahead and ask what you're about to ask.
Oh, okay. So right now, which one are you leaning more towards? Upgrading or switching brands?
Like I said before,
We already
it all
asked.
depends. Huh?
Didn't we already ask this?
Yeah.
No, you said would you switch brands? I'm saying like which one? As of right now, like what are you thinking? Like maybe like not upgrading yet at all?
Like I said, it all depends on what OnePlus does, and it all depends on what iPhone does. So I can't really say right now until I see.
So there's
those.
nothing in your mind right now.
Nope, not really.
Go on, Ricky. No, cause like right now I want to upgrade. Like yeah, like no matter what I do want to upgrade, unless like iPhone blows me away.
Right.
As of
Yeah.
right now I'm upgrading. So like you know what I mean? It's already in my mind.
Okay. I think all I would say is like T-Mobile should just get the OnePlus 8 Pro on there, in their inventory. That's all I gotta say. And all
Yeah.
that stuff.
AT&T have OnePlus?
No.
Oh damn.
Verizon's getting them.
I don't have a Verizon.
Oh, speaking of, since we're gonna, cause like the model of it's like a 5G model, and about to ask them about that. What I will say is this: I think Pixel should go back to a Pixel 3 design. Figure out what you need to. They need to figure out of what they need to do to make sure this phone is actually selling. So that way, it's like, cause it's like literally, it's like it's even though it's in all carriers now, cause it was a Verizon phone exclusively. You need to find a way to make sure people are actually getting the phone and not making it harder and not make it something that carriers can just let go of in a heartbeat and all that stuff after a few months. You need to find that thing to make sure people are buying it and all that stuff. You need to find that iPhone effect in a way. And all that stuff, whether it be making sure they're all same specs, friendly, user friendly stuff, and everything like that to make everything work. And then I want foldable phones to do something good. I'm interested in foldable phones. I just hope they actually work. And all that stuff. Because I'm really interested in one. I'm really interested in them and all that stuff. The fact that it's like two screens, the two screens, you were able to do stuff with them and all that stuff. I mean, Samsung's attempt at it with the Galaxy Fold, good phone. It looks cool and all that stuff. It had like a screen issue at the time.
Yeah.
And for that stuff and everything. And then it's like, I hope they do something else. Microsoft is actually doing something like that. It's gonna have Android. It's not using like its own operating system and all that stuff.
Oh, good.
and everything. And I'm actually interested in what they're gonna do with that one because that one looks pretty cool. Because how they have it, how it looks, and how they have what they plan on doing with it. I hope the Fold 2, whatever Samsung plans on doing with their next version of the foldable phone, is interesting enough too, because it's like, I think that's a phone I would probably want to get for for situations that I find myself in sometimes.
Yeah.
And just don't make since we're now transitioning from a 4G to 5G with with speeds and everything like that. Don't add in a phone with 5G that has 5G capabilities, but it's extra. It costs extra for the phone to do all that stuff. Because like, for the fact that the Note 10 had a 5G model but was more expensive than the regular one, was like, bruh.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Galaxy S20. The S, no. OnePlus does have 5G, but it's not like, it's still the same. They're like how they normally price their phones, anyways, and all that stuff. And I'm gonna say this now. This year's iPhone not gonna have 5G. Just gonna say that now.
You think it's gonna be the following years?
It's most likely probably gonna be in the following years and all that stuff, because they've always marched to their own beat when it comes to like stuff like that. It was the same thing with 4G, and it's gonna be the same this again with 5G. But yeah, I want something new, and different. I think foldable phones are that new for me, and all that stuff. But I need something that's gonna sell me to actually like consider it, and all that stuff.
So
to make that
if it had booty.
That shut up. Shut up, man.
They need to listen to Samsung. Listen to me.
It needs to grab my attention to be that first person to actually want to try your device and all stuff. The Galaxy Fold was close, but it already screwed up with when there was an issue with the screens. Microsoft is starting to get me there, but they haven't said anything since they first announced they're doing this. And all that stuff, so it's like I'm waiting to see more about that and see where that goes. And then, for that phone in particular, the Microsoft foldable phone one, don't make that a carrier exclusive. I want that on all carriers, so that way I can try it out. I'm not buying a unlocked one for like $1,000. No, because that's most likely what's gonna be like. How much is gonna be full price? And all that stuff. But yeah, don't do no carrier exclusive stuff. I don't want to be all excited about it and then find out it's either a Verizon or AT&T exclusive and all that stuff. And I'll be like,
you gotta get.
That was me when the first Pixel came out, and it's like you can only get this at Verizon. I'm like,
dude, the whole unlock thing sounds so sketchy to me. Like, I know it's legit, but like, it sounds kind of sketchy.
Well, no, when you buy them unlocked, you're buying them. The only way you can get them unlocked is when you go to their actual stores, like from their own company.
Yeah, I know, but like, it sounds like unlocked sounds kind of.
How is it sketchy?
It sounds kind of sounds like jailbroken.
Manny, the purpose of an unlocked phone is that.
No, I know what it's for, but like I'm saying, sounding like.
How does it sound jailbroken?
It sounds like it's another term for jailbroken to me.
It's not jailbroken though. Jailbroken is entirely different thing. Like,
I'm saying it sounds like it. I'm not saying it is. I know what unlocked means.
So what jailbroken is, like I said, is an entirely different thing, and it's like.
No, I know it's a different thing.
But I'm saying, I think that's more. I think that's more software than it is network when it comes to jailbroken stuff. I'm just saying. And all that stuff. I think jailbroken is more of a term related to software than it does to network. Because when we're talking about that in particularly of an unlocked phone, that's more of a network thing than it is a software thing. And all that stuff. Because that's where I was trying to get at about it. And all that stuff. But anyways, we're gonna end this podcast. It was a nice discussion. We learned about phones as much as possible.
Yep.
And everything. I will say we thank you again for listening. And again, you can catch us every Tuesday at 10 a.m. on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcast, and Apple Podcast, and some other ones, but I can't think of them right now at the moment.
Not 10 a.m. What time?
10 a.m. in the morning.
No.
10 a.m. Oh, now you want to pull that time zone? Now you want to pull time zones on me?
Yeah. Like, what if
This
someone's
guy.
watching from New York?
This guy.
What if our one viewer is like watching from New York?
This guy wants to pull time zones on me, and when he thinks Oregon's in a different time, not in a different time zone.
It's because it is, dude.
Huh?
It's in a different country, dude.
Oregon, the state of Oregon.
Yep. Whole different mindset.
My point exactly. Anyway, thank you again for listening to us. We hope to see you next week. Have a good one.